Isn't this exciting?
It's fun, right?
It is. I'm glad we're getting back to this.
Yeah, same. It's always a
After
great
our
time.
hiatus. Oh, don't you feel refreshed?
Yes. Oh, you mean like from the hiatus? Yes, I feel very refreshed.
Sure. I am so relaxed. Yes.
Yeah. It's those extra 2 kids you had. You just feel far more revitalized now, right?
Hello and welcome back to a brand new episode of everyone's favorite podcast, the Critical Arcade Podcast. I'm your co-host, Nick.
And I'm Dave.
Hello, Dave.
Hello, Nick. Are you well?
Yes, I'm well. Wow. Have we really not spoken in 5 months? This is the first time I'm speaking to you. For real, I'm not lying.
Well, I'm about to say, it sounds like we've had a massive fight. Like, oh, you didn't speak for 5 months. Like, we don't. What you did to me is just unthinkable. Like, and we didn't speak,
yes.
And then finally we reconciled, and
Yes,
we're back.
An hour ago we said, oh, what
Yes.
were we fighting about? I don't remember.
That's right. It was like I could just picture press start now for player 2, and it's like just graphics, and player 2 arrived, and now Critical Arcade is back.
It's so good. It's so nice. I'm glad we're doing this again. We had a tiny hiatus of about, was it 5 months?
We did. Didn't you? Sorry, just a tiny hiatus. Didn't you have 2 tiny hiatuses? Sorry, like I said, you had. Nick here had again. What 9, 7, 8, 12 kids? I forget how many.
Yes, we're close. I lost count.
I know. It's just one of those scenes. You know, like Twister, the movie.
No.
Basically, what your house. No, of course. Again, I forget how very few movies you've seen. But anyway, it is good to be back.
It is. It really is. For those of us joining for the first time, welcome to the Critical Arcade Podcast. This is, I don't know, would this be season 2?
Yeah, let's call it season 2. Yeah, that's right.
We're call
back.
it season 2 to lessen the embarrassment of taking a chunky hiatus. Season 2, welcome. If this is your first episode, you've got a big backlog. This is episode 101. 101.
Yeah, that's impressive. Like most seasons have 100 episodes. That's very normal, I'm sure.
I guess, yes.
Yeah, very normal, right? I watched.
It is.
What's it? Sometimes this. What House? I swear had at least 100 episodes. Or what?
House, of course. I think
Easy.
House was closing in on 200.
Yeah, wasn't. What else has been on TV? Game of Thrones. That took freaking forever. That was at least 100 episodes a season. Anyway, I digress again.
Okay.
So what game are we playing?
But let me just, before anyone joining us for the first time on Critical Arcade, let me just give you a quick rundown of how these episodes work. Or anyone that has listened to us and just forgot all about us. First of all, how dare you? Secondly, the Critical Arcade Podcast, just Dave and I sitting down talking about any game, new or old. We don't even choose the games. A list chooses the games for us. This list has grown sentient, and I'm very scared of it. It's definitely not holding me at gunpoint right now.
All hail the list.
All hail the list.
No, we're ladies and gents, we're generally scared. We made a few years ago, we made just a general, just Excel spreadsheet list of games, new and old, like Nick says over there. And
I think
sometimes
it's
hates us.
2,500 entries strong.
It just hates us sometimes. It wants us to play Digimon World again and again and again. And we don't know why. Nobody knows why. But it does.
It's not answering my questions.
It doesn't want us to play new games sometimes. And it makes me play horror games, and I don't like horror games.
Very true. You've got a horror game coming in a couple of weeks.
Exactly. All hail the list. The list is listening, so sorry list, but we all hail the list.
All hail the list. We take apart the games the list gives us in 6? In 6 sections. The narrative, visuals, audio, gameplay, performance, and value for money. We each score those sections a point out of 10, and then based on those scores, we get a letter grade, which is what we use to score these games. God of War Ragnarok scores gave it a letter grade rating of A-. Digimon World's letter scores gave it an F, which is very deserving.
We still, ladies and gents, haven't actually found a game of perfection because we don't actually agree there's any such thing, right? There's no...
The closest we came was Chrono Trigger.
Yeah, that's true. That game is pretty much perfection. But I am a JRPG fundi. It's my type of jam. I am basically Japanese.
So with introductions out of the way, everyone caught up on what Critical Arcade is. Let's get going with this week's game, Dave.
This week's game is it's kind of a well-known sweetheart, which I'm sure lots of people have played or at least heard of.
Oh yeah.
It's 2022's Stray by the publisher Annapurna Interactive, which again is a studio which now loads of people have heard of, be it for publishing games like Cocoon or Outer Wilds, Neon White, I think they did.
Yeah, Annapurna's done loads of indie games. I think they're second only to Devolver Digital with Unable to Miss with a strong indie hit.
Yeah, but they've also had this they've been in the headlines recently with all the weirds going on with a bunch of their staff quitting and then coming back. And
not the best reason to be in the
and
news.
then some sort of co-signing with Remedy, and then everyone resigned, and then coming. Oh, it's been a bit. There's something
nice,
foul
Annapurna.
in the state of Denmark or something going on.
But this was before that,
which is so sad because again, the pedigree that Annapurna, especially in regards to this game and others they've done, really good. Like, it's one of those games, especially in the gaming industry. As we look at it now, we were like, whoa. There's light at the end of the tunnel. Annapurna Interactive was releasing games that were good. These are fun.
Yes, not just big games that are good, because people only seem to think that big games can be good. No. Smaller games can be good. Smaller games can be excellent, and this is one of them.
No, exactly right. And it was, again, another beautiful little story. This was developed by a company called Blue 12 Studio from a little studio in France. And it was their first game they developed with the help of Annapurna, which is always a great story.
This is Blue 12's debut game.
It was, and it started off with like 18 people. It took them about 5 years, which is just lovely little story. You just love the idea of a small little studio in the middle of France somewhere. 18 to 20 people just working hard on an IP for 5 years.
5 years is a long time. I think 5 years is longer than what it took God of War Ragnarok to be made. 5 years is about the time the God of War 2018 took to be made. That's a long time. That is a long time.
But it's so nice just to hear like the development time, like take
absolutely.
time,
and that they were able to finish and succeed.
Yeah, exactly. Make something so it's done. Like, how many times have we played games and it's just broken and not finished and it's falling apart and it's buggy?
Yeah.
And, 5 years is a long time, but for the 18 people, it's how long it takes. That's not a big development team. But anyway, I digress. Again, small team, great publisher at the time, knocked out this great story about a cat.
Just a cat.
Stray.
That is it. A cat.
A nameless cat, I might add.
Yeah, I don't know what the cat's name is. While I was typing this, I thought, what's the cat's name? We don't know.
Did you not name it whilst you were playing? Were you not?
No, I called him. I called him Cat. I don't know.
I was playing.
Did you call the cat?
I called him Rogers because
Roger. Oh, that's not. Oh, that's great.
Do you know Ginger Rogers?
No, I don't.
Now I'm showing my age now. Ginger Rogers was a TV star in like the. Oh, geez, the 60s, maybe 70s,
Whoa!
maybe the
no way.
50s. I don't really know. It was a long time. But because the cat's Ginger. Out of curiosity, I was playing this entire game, and I don't even know if you're a cat person. Are you a cat person? Do you like cats?
I am not. Although this game has gotten me the closest to appreciating cats than anything has ever done before.
Okay, so in regards to this, the cat-like things you could do, you were getting warm and fuzzy inside with all the little
yes, for some stuff the cat did when it curls up next to Guitar Robot, and Guitar Robot's playing a tune, and Rogers is just like purring and sleeping, and the camera slowly pans out. Oh,
yeah, right. No, okay. So you're not. So You're not a cat person, but you did
No.
melt a bit in regards to
Yes.
the
Oh,
cat
yes,
moment.
yes.
Okay,
This game's
okay.
the
I was just
Are
wondering.
you a
'cause I
cat
don't-
person?
Oh, definitely. I like
Really?
cats. I like cats. Cats are fine. They are.
Nothing wrong with that. Cats. Cats.
Cats
Yeah.
are, like, I'm trying to not use a swear word. They're kind of knobs. I can't think of a better word. They are.
Cats assholes.
They don't care. I like that. Like, there's one of those things that you just got to get used to with cats. I do, but they just come. There's something charming about cats. Them not caring about much. But anyway, I digress. Should we jump into narrative?
Yes,
What do you think about
let's
the
start.
narrative of this game then?
So, before we start with the narrative, I want to ask you a question.
Go on, hit me with it.
Do you know of a place called Kowloon Walled City?
You've told me this once before. I
Yes,
think
the
we had
previous
this-
time we talked about Stray loads of years ago, I asked you the same question. And
And
now I'm asking you again. Do you know of a place
Kowloon.
called Kowloon Walled City?
Kowloon was in one of the Digimon games we played too.
Oh.
It was the first place in Digimon Cyber Sleuth or what it was called. The first place was Kowloon is spelled like Kowloon or something, right?
Correct.
I can't remember. All I remember, it's a place in another video game, and that's it. So no, basically. But yeah, what is it?
Mm-hmm.
It's something interesting. I don't doubt. Go on. No, say I
It's
don't know
extremely
what it is.
interesting.
Go on.
It's one of the most curious rabbit holes that I've ever heard of. So Kowloon, I think, is a city somewhere in China, or what used to be British-owned China. And inside this city, there was this massive complex built by the government to keep an eye on the British, right next to them.
Okay.
That's how I understand it.
Yeah.
And this big residence eventually, over decades and decades and decades, turned into what's now known as Kowloon Walled City. It's a massive apartment complex smushed into a tiny, tiny space. Imagine if you had 10 apartment complexes and they were just all smushed together to take the space of 2 apartment complexes.
Okay, that sounds very Chinese in general, but yeah, I'm with you.
Yes,
I'm with you.
This is, it's so difficult to describe without you actually seeing photos of this. Or anyone listening to this, if you're at a computer or your phone, Google Kowloon Walled City. Dave, you do the same. Google Kowloon Walled City and look at some of those images.
Okay.
It's
So it's
almost ruined. It's decrepit. It's dirty. It's lawless. A lot of sources state the inside of this place was just a massive labyrinth of apartments and pipes and cables and
okay. I'm seeing
doorways
pictures of it
and
now,
hallways. Do you see what I mean?
I see what you mean. It reminds me, strangely enough, I'm going to reference that you're not going to have watched the latest Judge Dredd movie, which I don't think you watched. But I do know what you mean. I see what you mean. It's got like
Yes,
it's
you
even
see what I mean.
dystopian in its own right.
Yes.
Just looking at it.
So,
right?
the devs have stated that the city that Stray plays in is heavily influenced by Kowloon Walled City. And you can very clearly see that in a lot of stages in Stray. You can feel just a claustrophobic sense from all angles. You feel, how the hell am I going to get out of this specific space? Even the entirety of Stray is even in an enclosed area, just like what Kowloon's Walled City looks like. It's one of the most interesting spaces I've ever seen built, or that got built and then ruined. So Kowloon Walled City got demolished in the early 1990s, and there's very, very, very little media of it, which
Of
is
course,
why
yeah.
people are so infatuated with it.
Yeah, I can understand that. The mystery behind it, because there's nothing being talked about it anymore,
Yeah.
right? And it's
Yeah.
and it's gone away. Yeah, I'm with you.
There's a very clear love put into the setting of Stray,
Yeah.
right?
Oh,
and
definitely.
It is one that I've fallen in love with. It's just, I adore this filthy sci-fi setting, right?
Of
Like things
course.
have progressed and then regressed.
Well, it's exactly the same as, again, I have the same thing with Final Fantasy VII in regards to
Yes. It's very much the same.
ooh, why can't I think of the name of that place? Midgar. And there's another game, and I can't think what it is. Oh no, it's Alita. Did you ever watch Alita Battle Angel?
Alita Battle Angel. Yes, I'm guessing it's the same. It's the same.
Yeah, same type of thing. But yeah, I get exactly what you mean, and this does have the same kind of world building and the same type. It is definitely in there. You know, there was one part in here, and I thought I was being big brain narratively when I went into it. You know, ladies and gents, when you play this game, just a little bit of narrative strings that you pull. You play an unnamed cat living among other cats in a ruined city. And then, unfortunately, you fall into a deep chasm, landing in an underground metropolis. And then
so sad.
You find yourself in a small city with robots and dangerous creatures called Zurks that seem to both consume human flesh and metal. And then you bump into a little robot friend called B12. Now, I thought, this little flying drone fella who has lost his memory, right? I thought, whoa, that's so clever. B12, right? I thought this was big brain moment. B12. I thought, where do I know B12 from? Then I thought, whoa, wait a minute. B12 deficiency, right? That's some sort of a deficiency of a vitamin.
Okay.
And one of the side effects of B12 deficiency is memory loss.
Whoa.
And I was like, whoa, that's so clever.
What?
Which so genius, right? What a
Is that
clever
true?
thing. It is, except for then when I looked up why it's called B12, right? It's because the development studio is called Blue 12.
That's
And I was like, oh,
no,
but my one was better.
no, but
Mine's-
they could
mine's
both be
better.
right. They could both be right.
I hope that is, because I thought my link was so much better than like.
Wow, I'm making that canon in my mind.
Yeah, I'm about to say, I thought that was such like, yeah.
Ooh, that's cool. I like this game, the developers, so much that I'm gonna pretend that is
Yeah,
true.
I'm going to go on their wiki or whatever and just add that in there myself so that it sounds canon to anybody
Just
reading
send them
upon
a
it.
DM saying, by the way, this is canon now.
Yeah.
Pretend like you made this.
So narratively, it's one of those things like, narratively in this game, I actually didn't score it massively because I'd say narratively, it's not the standard feature of this game that how do you say it? Narratively,
It's not the focal point?
yeah, if you know what I mean.
I think so, yes.
Ladies and gents, in this podcast, we don't like doing spoilers. We're not going to spoil it because, you know, we want you to play these games. We're not going to review it.
We want you to play the good ones.
Yeah, we don't want... Yeah, exactly. We're not going to tell you it and then you just don't pick it up. Games are to be played and experienced yourself. So we're trying to aim you in the right direction. And so lots of things happen in this city. You play the cat, you meet some fantastic different life, and you uncover different stories and relationships and puzzles, and you just uncover a kind of a mysterious backstory to things that keeps you enthralled as you go along. But a standard gaming narrative, this is still told more visually than it is most other games.
Yes,
right?
I agree. And I think there's something to be said that a lot of games have started to use visual storytelling instead of just spouting endless, what's the word I'm looking for? Story?
Yeah, just plot and words and conversations and stuff like that.
Get on with it.
Yes, that's what I mean. Like, if, for example, Japanese RPGs can sometimes just talk too much and talk too
Sometimes
much.
I feel like that with Yakuza.
Yes, exactly.
It's fun
Very true.
and goofy, but wow, those cutscenes
Yes.
can sometimes just drag on.
Yes, and all the side quests and all the sub stories, which you just go, I just want to get through it. Yeah, exactly. And this does it differently. So whereas the narrative and the mystery is quite intriguing, it hasn't got the highest point because of the next section. Anything else narrative you want to chuck in there? The story is good.
I would just like to make the point that while I scored the narrative higher than you did, it's because I appreciate the world building
Yeah.
a bit more, because I thought it was such a smart place to put this game in. The city, which has a name, I just completely forgot about it. And I think the city or the setting is one of the main characters, just like the cat and B12.
That's very true. That's very true. It's like,
but that's just my opinion.
one thing. Okay, let me just point out that's one thing, and forgive the language. It was complete bullshit about this game. Now, I picked up this game years ago when it came out, and I was like, okay, this is fun, and I was playing the game.
It was included in PS Plus.
Yeah, exactly. And it was a cat, and it was great, and I was like, oh, whoa. And there was like dangerous potatoes after me, but that was a small section. That was fine. And then there was cool robots, and I was in a city, and I was looking for energy drinks, and everything was a cool vibe, and I thought this game's fun. And then there was a part where I couldn't find all the energy drinks, and then I got a little bit bored, and then I was like, okay, this is frustrating now. And then I got distracted by something else, didn't play it again. So then this came around, I had to review it, so I played it again, and I was like, okay, same vibes. I was thinking to myself, oh, this is a great game. I should easily find the energy drinks, right?
Yeah.
And so I'm thinking, okay, this is fun. Oh, okay, got to go to the rooftops. And then go to the rooftops. And I'm like, what the F? I didn't know there were horror aspects to this game.
What do you mean?
What's going on? I did not know there was going to be just visceral meat webs and freaking pulsating sacks.
Ooh.
I'll go into it a bit later, but what happened to my chill cat robot city vibes? I was like, come on.
I get what you mean. Let's take this to segue into visuals.
Visuals, okay.
Yes. Meat sacks everywhere. There are a couple of levels.
Come on.
One where you go to the rooftops. Ooh, that's good. Oh, that's good.
I was so upset. I was like, no, give me back my little cat. And like chilling out, finding some energy drinks.
Yes, sleeping next to Guitar Robot.
I was just giving Grandma some cable to knit a nice hoodie for the geek guy. This was very chill. I was having good times. And then just,
subverted your expectations.
Oh, yeah, no doubt. The juxtaposition,
I
thought, whoa.
Subvert expectations. Hell yeah.
I was like, nah, what happened? I'm Ginger Rogers.
That's
I'm supposed to be curling up onto a cushion somewhere. But yeah.
Did you make it past that level ever?
I did. I made it quite far. I made it, I'm into the jail. I just got jailed.
Nice, that is quite far.
Yeah, right.
That is quite far. Okay, well then you also know the next bit after the
yeah, I hate
the rooftops, the sewers.
I hated it. Oof. I absolutely hated it. Especially
I agree with you there. So visually, the rooftops are full of meat sacks, and visually, the sewers are full of hundreds of enormous eyes.
I hated it so much.
It's disgusting. It's gruesome. It's horrifying, and oh, damn it, I can't get enough of it.
See, that's what we were saying, ladies and gents. It's that juxtaposition. It's that storytelling. I didn't score the narrative so well because it's a storybook. Yes. This is it goes from the very first part of the game, it's just you chilling out with a bunch of other cats. You're there, you're licking each other, you're playing with puddles.
The foliage is everywhere. There's a waterfall. There's sunshine.
That's right. Oh yeah, and they're just light, and you're playing and you're parkouring with the other cats. It's such a lovely little moment. And then it goes a little dark, and then you find a nice little town, and it's very, very just relaxing and kind of like fun to discover and learn. Yes. It's a fun, and then it just gets whoa, and it's like what is going on? And then it just gets darker, and you're like,
yes.
Whoa, this is getting so dystopian and so bleak. It's like whoa.
A lot of people kind of criticize the game for completely stopping with the horrifying Zurks narrative. Yeah. Once you make it to a different part of the city, and then it's just all about the robots, which is fine, but I would have liked it if we expanded on the Zurks narrative a bit.
Well, I think, again, there have been rumours that there is a Stray 2, because Blue 12 Studio in France, they're still going. It's a bit rumour-esque, because in 2023... they hired 3 HR people as part of their studio. So as a studio, they're not closed down. They are working on something, and it wouldn't be uncommon because no spoilers, this game is open to a sequel as the story goes.
Do you think so?
Yes, they do presume, again, no spoilers, that the end is open to questions that they might then...
Okay.
That
I
they might
agree with
elaborate
that.
upon.
The end's open to some questions. I wouldn't think that a continuation of the story would be one of those questions.
That's a different story. Yeah.
A different story. I get
within
that.
the world.
That.
Yeah.
I get that.
But anyway, again, the visuals in this game, this is where I scored it just the highest. It was just...
Oh, yes.
It was insanely good. It's got that beautiful thing where it just always has you asking questions. And that's the narrative. Things like...
It is. Visual storytelling.
It's like you look around and you're in the town and you're a cat, which they don't recognise, but they got pictures of cows on the walls. So you question, where are the other animals? Where are humans?
Yeah.
Why is society robots, but why is their technology kind of low-fi? Why is it all CRT TVs?
Yeah.
But we have robot companions and we have floating, levitating robots and stuff.
These questions, you're right. And nobody talks about this. It's not a question a character would just ask out loud. No, you see these things.
Yes,
and you get curious.
Exactly. Every corner just leads you to another thought, like why energy drinks? Why music? Why is this one person into music? Why do they have furniture if they're robots?
Why does it seem like all these robots have personalities?
Yes, exactly. It has, and everything you do and every little bit you makes you just wonder why. Every little thing makes you question this and question that, and even the big bad guys, the narcos, and ladies and gentlemen, one thing we missed out in narrative: the narcos, the big bads, have made the Zurks, which were originally a bacteria for eating plastics, which evolved to start eating anything. So
you mean Neko?
Is it Neko? Sorry, Neko.
It's Neko Core. That's right. Yes. Well, you're right. That is the overarching narrative. Neko Core made an organism that eats junk.
Yeah, which is quite scary.
But in the long term,
because we have designed an enzyme that eats plastic not too long ago. It's not quite the same thing as an organism, but I'm kind of I feel like there's a bit of foreshadowing in our own future here to some degree.
I guess so. Ooh, the French know something we don't.
Yeah, I know. I'm sorry. I'm just digressing a bit there. Again,
I have
go on.
Just a couple of things for visuals. I think the first thing keen eyes noticed when they played this game was the masterful work Blue Talv has done regarding the lighting.
Okay.
Isn't that every big corridor, hallway, alley, or cavern, and ditch, they all feel massive with a thick layer of atmosphere. It's really hard to replicate, and that's because the lighting was done so well. You could immediately feel the atmosphere. It looks real, these places.
Oh, agreed entirely. That's, again, everything about the visuals on this were just spot on. The lighting, especially, again, there was one bit at the very beginning that, again, it was a visual thing and a bit of audio. You know that part when you first walk into I don't know what the first city's called. The
Dead City.
The Dead City. And you walk in and you bump into the first robot. And you're like, hey, robot. Yeah. And then the robot sees you and pushes that button, and the red alarm goes on, and they run away, and then you instantly think to yourself, are you the bad guy? You were so chill, and you were so...
The alarm went off for you. Everyone's running away from you. Am I the... You're right, you're right.
And it's such a great... Again, this is all just visual. I can't remember. I'm pretty sure they played some music then as well, potentially. But it's such a big twist. You're a cute little cat that has just walked on upon a very, a tall robot, and they're petrified instantly. And you think to yourself, whoa, you don't know the narrative of this world. Are you the bad guy? Should they be scared of you? It's such a good narrative where you don't, when something so against the norm that would happen, in what we perceive cats or little docile cats as, just changes everything. They run away, they hide. Guardian with his big stick comes at you and you shall not pass. And then he's like, oh, you're not a Zurk. It's such a good little moment because it twists everything you were doing at that moment. You were like, oh, finally, safety. Oh, look, a robot. I'll go say hi. And then the narrative just flips a bit and you're like, oh.
Okay. No safety.
Yeah, exactly. It's so good. And again, you're not really a movie guy. So, did you see any of the movie bits or the gaming bits that they did? Did you see any of the nods to those within the visuals?
No, I don't think so.
Did you see the nod to the foodstuffs? That was quite there.
The foodstuffs? No.
Did you go to it? When you were exploring the houses, did you see what they were eating? The robots, even though they had no mouths.
Oh, wait. Yes. What was it? Ram.
Yeah.
Was it ram soup? What was it?
It's ramen.
Ramen.
Well, which is hilarious, ladies and gents. It was sticks of ram in soup, just to be hilarious. Everyone loves those little things, and the cats, ladies and gents, because cats are cats. Lovely little visual keys you can put in there. They'll scratch up the sofas. They'll scratch up the carpets. They'll knock over paint cans. And if they walk on the paint, they'll track paint through the house and stuff like that. Yep. The thing is, these developers, you don't have to put those things in, but they took their time to do it so that the immersion of being a cat is all there. These games, so awesome.
These are the games people should be playing.
Yes.
Who are saying that gaming is dying. Games aren't what they used to be. No, stop playing Call of Duty and play games like these.
Exactly. And I have to do one more. Sorry, there's I forget them. You remember Samus? I don't know. He wants to go get his father. He's got the Samus. Was it Seamus?
Seamus, the Scottish name.
Yeah. And he went to go get his father. What was his father called?
Oh, oof.
You're good with names.
No, I don't know. I can't remember.
His name was Doc. Right? He's the one who had the big, the zapper,
you're
Zurks
right.
Zapper.
Oh, wait a minute. And he had this big hair. Are you telling me... Wait a minute. And Seamus wore a big puffer jacket.
He did wear a big puffer jacket.
Like Marty.
Mm-hmm.
Hey! I never knew that.
It's not just that. You know, when you meet him, you're right. Ladies and gents, if you don't know, that's a nod to Back to the Future. And what his mission, you have to... put the generator on so his light thing will work, right?
Yes.
And he requires 1.21 gigawatts, which is exactly the amount of wattage he needs for the lightning to strike to use for his DeLorean to work.
To power the DeLorean.
In the movie Back to the Future. It's such a fun little nod to the movie, so I just had to add that there because it was a great little moment in the game, just to go back to a classic movie.
Damn, this game's got a lot of love in it.
It does. It's so cool when you see moments like that in games.
Great. When developers put in the love for the game instead of just being told by the executive overlords, oh, make it so because I said so.
Yes, and put tons and tons of stuff in there because people want
tons of microtransactions.
Yeah.
Do it!
Do it now! Release it now! Sorry. Oh, you can see that we don't like this. Anything else?
I think the last points for visuals I'd like to add is there's just junk everywhere, and you can, if you walk through it, the junk will move. I find that cool.
It is just funny knocking things over too. And did you know you could trip people up?
You can what?
You can trip people up as a cat when they're walking. If you walk between their legs whilst they're walking, they fall over. Because cats are kind of
sometimes they stumble, sometimes they actually faceplant.
I know, it's just funny because being a cat is fun,
But that's my last point in visuals. Being a cat's fun. You feel like a real cat because the devs Blue 12 put in some real effort into making Rogers feel like a real cat. Move.
No, exactly right. It was
jump,
a ton of effort.
Land, purr, curl, trip people up like a real cat.
Okay.
I think they did mocap. Sorry, what?
Audio time, Mr. Audio Man.
Audio time.
Do you know when I say Audio Man, I picture you in spandex and just one of those like sound booms devices.
I picture myself with a cape. I don't know, maybe spandex too.
Of course, you gotta wear spandex. How are they gonna know you're a superhero?
So, you said visuals is your favorite part of this game?
Oh, definitely, 100%.
Audio would be my favorite part of the game. If I had to choose, it would be audio.
Of course.
It's so slam dunk. It's so slam dunk. There are some tracks that fit the tone and the setting of this game so much. I struggle to find any other word to use to describe them other than cat sci-fi.
Yeah, that's true. it's a
Right?
unique
If you
combination
listen
of
to
words.
the soundtrack, the two words that I think about when I listen to this is cat sci-fi. It's so easy. Cat sci-fi.
Just
The
keep
melody, the melody sometimes uses a soft synthetic tone, which could be
Of course.
Roger's paws, just pitter-patting all over the place. But it also uses experimental harmonies backing up this soft melody that it just doesn't sound right sometimes. But that's because it's emphasizing the progressed nature of the inhabitants of this world.
Wow, that's
It's
deep.
so... But that's what I'm saying.
That's crazy.
That's what I'm saying.
That was
Yes,
crazy.
it is
Yeah.
that deep.
That's crazy. That's cool though. No, that's like that's why you're the sound man. That's why you're
Audio man.
audio man. Sorry, but no, I agree that again, sound in this it goes crazy.
It really does.
Again, I
It
don't
really does.
I don't get the subtleties as well as you do with your background, obviously. But even that first bit, which we all know that they love to do the first bit to really draw you into the game. But that bit when you're sitting with all your fellow cats. And you're kind of all chilling out in a storm drain or wherever you are. And the weather, it's raining. I think it's storming a bit. And you've got the echoes of your own meows and the footsteps and the weather and the just the trickling of everything going on. Just the atmosphere in that little moment. It's like 30 seconds is so palpable. It's insane. It feels so good.
There's a lot of setup.
It's
and not
so
a
much
single
noise.
Not a single word is spoken.
No, but you can do your little mows. You can do your little meow, and it just echoes amongst the noise so subtly. It's
great.
It's organic meowing as well. It's not just meow meow. It's that little natural like timid meowing because you're just with your friends. It's not. It's so good. It's crazy. And another one I did
like it.
Go on, sorry.
No, I just agreed with you.
Again, when we were talking about crazy rooftop, what the hell's going on? I didn't know this was a horror game moment.
Yeah.
They do that freaky ass heartbeat thing like other horror games do. When you go,
What are you talking about?
When you go on the rooftops,
Yes.
when you start playing around with all the webbing, there's a heartbeat bass that plays. You know when everything's ever organic, the music always starts doing like a ba-boom, ba-dum, ba-boom,
Do you think that's
ba-dum.
the cat's heartbeat, or do you think that's the hive mind?
I think that's the hive mind. I think that's the bit, all that organic meat. I think it's that. That's what it's.
Oh yes.
That's the pulsatingness of the organic meat around.
Yes. This game just gets better.
Oh, you know that.
This is such a small. But
I was
deep
not listening
puddle.
to that, thinking this just got better. I was like, this just got.
Yes, and that's the importance of audio as well.
Agreed.
You could look at this and think, "Wow, this is cool," but if you want to get immersed,
Oh yeah, no doubt.
audio
I would have been
is the way to go.
Exactly. At
Audio
that
is the way to
moment,
get
if there
immersed.
was no noise, I would have been less scared. If it was just meat things, I'd have been like, "Ooh, that's gruesome." But that music on top of it was like, "Whoa, come on, people!"
Music and sound effects and just these undertones of what could be happening and what is probably happening underneath your paws.
Yeah.
It's incredible. That's why people who don't like horror movies watch horror movies with the sound off or plugging their ears.
Yeah, exactly right.
That's what's scary.
I don't like those moments. But it is again, the reason I don't like that moment because you're going to appreciate the sound and the audio that comes from it.
Yes.
And everything about this music, again, when you the little guitar guy who plays this music, a lot of that, like you said, is very cybercat, be it cats. It's a very unique sound, and even his guitar being like a gasoline drum with strings on it, being very it's very robotic in its own right, right?
It is.
It wasn't a wooden
Not just
acoustic
that,
guard,
but there weren't any guitars, so he made something with which there is an abundance of junk.
And the soundtrack alone is very good. I remember the soundtrack, I didn't really look into it, but I know it won awards of some site because I know that...
Hell yeah, of course.
Because I know when it released again, they sold the soundtrack with it. A special Stray soundtrack alongside it and separately because it was a really good... It is a really good soundtrack, sorry.
My favorite track on the soundtrack, I don't know what its name is, but it plays on the radio with that robot who you give a knitted sweater to.
Oh, yes, that's right.
If you give that robot a knitted sweater and you turn on the radio, there's this very, very groovy and jaunty tune that plays.
Yes.
It's so... I could sit there and listen to that forever.
That was one of the other big questions I had. That robot is cold. And I was like, what? How is a robot cold? I was like, that's... Why? That's what I love about this game. Visually, I was like, why is he cold? He's a robot.
It's giving you questions.
Yeah, all the time.
The tiniest bit of an answer that's just not enough.
Yeah, exactly. This is what it did so well. That's why the visuals are so good. But anyway, I digress. Anything else audio-wise?
No, just that it sometimes sounds like some of the sound effects in the score were created in the studio with actual junk, like pounding on an empty milk carton or... sprinkling of metal bits. It sounds like sometimes actual junk was used to make some of this soundtrack. And
but that sounds fun.
I love that.
Yeah, that must be fun.
Yes.
For a sound engineer, being able to go buy things from Walmart or something that you wouldn't normally use so you can throw it around to get some new sound must be so much more fun.
Yes, it's called Foley.
Yeah, I know that one of the most common ones for like the gruesome sound for blood or gore is wet cabbage. They take cabbage leaves, cut it up, wet it, and then slap it, and that's supposed to be one of the sounds for like gruesome flesh or something like that.
Yeah.
Oh, so it must be so much fun discovering noises with things.
Yes.
And it must.
It could be one of the funnest jobs ever. Just
definitely
a Foley engineer. And
yeah,
I think
really
they had
must
a lot
be
of
a
fun
lot
in
of
this
fun.
one as well. I love it.
Anyway, should we jump to gameplay then?
Let's, because the time's catching up on us.
Yes,
gameplay.
No.
I remember the gameplay was polarizing or divisive for quite a few people when it got revealed, right? I think you know what I'm going to say. The fact that you can't just jump anywhere you want, but you can only jump onto certain places when a prompt appears.
Thing is,
loads of people did not like that.
I like that.
Because it's what's the word? What's the word I'm looking for? Convenience?
It's clean. I don't...
clean. Okay,
clean. It's going to be one of those weird things. I don't like in games now, so I've gone to you know in Zelda, you can climb pretty much everything, right? You get the little stamina bar, you can climb everything.
Yeah.
I don't mind it in Zelda, but I remember in the old Assassin's Creed games, right, you could only climb the windowsills. You could only, if you saw a brick, you could climb the brick. But now in
if there's an
Assassin's
open
Creed,
gap in the wall, you could climb it.
Yeah, you could climb it. So it required a degree of planning your climb. So I always
yeah.
So I always think if you're a cat, your cat's not going to climb on everything. The cats
it's
aren't
not going to jump and then decide where it wants to land mid-air.
And because you planned the climbs were so much cleaner as an animation. It was such a clean little jump and a clean little this, and then you planned for things to fall over and things. I liked it, but I do get we live in a world where we're so used to climbing everything. I want to climb this, I want to jump up there, I want to climb over this, and I do get why people, but I actually liked it. I like the little
It
buttons.
is a very good point. In a game where it takes so much care into emulating what a real cat would do in a situation like this, how it would react, that, yes, cats don't jump before they decide where to land.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. Most of the time.
It makes a lot of sense,
exactly
but could it be one of those things that just doesn't translate into gameplay very well? Was it doomed from the start? Well, doomed is a strong word, but...
I get what you're saying. I understand what people say, and I do get. But remember, this is an indie developer as well. They cannot develop miracle platforming as well as visuals, as well as sound, as well as narrative. You know, this game would have taken 20 years to come out. They had a deadline as much as anyone else. Again, I think as gamers, we always look for perfection in something that's already very good. You know,
very true.
It's so hard to hit. I do understand, but no, I think this was a visual story that didn't need, and a lot of the time when you've got all that climbing mechanic, you sometimes just end up in places that has nowhere to go. You know, we've all played games where you've gone, oh, there has to be something behind the waterfalls. You climb it and you climb it and you climb it and climb it, and then there's nothing, and you just wasted 5 minutes because everything's climbable and there's just nothing there. But yeah, I get. What did you think? Did you dislike it?
I also think that it was very clean and was the right decision to make in this game.
Yeah,
because it felt different than just jumping and then landing, which loads of games do, and I think would have made this game much more clunkier and would have made it feel much more jankier. I think they made the right call, which the gameplay is simple and clean, and eventually it expands a slight bit with the UV light.
Yeah, and the dodging the Zurks.
Yes.
Yeah, it does.
Fooling drones and moving barrels and vacuums. That's the extent of the gameplay, really.
Agreed.
I don't think that's where the main focus of Stray is.
No, it isn't. It's to some degree, Stray is a visual novel. It is.
Oh wow.
Telling a story through it's a slight bit of puzzling. It does, like you said, later on it's platforming. You've got those weird beams that move with your inertia. You've got the weird drones to hide from and go through the factory and stuff like that.
Yeah. Yes.
But you're discovering, solving puzzles and just exploring.
You really are just exploring.
You are. It's an exploring
I
game.
never got bored. I never got bored with the exploring of this world, who is a main character in this game.
No, exactly right. No, it's very true.
I never got bored.
When you found a window that was open, you were like, what? Window? What's in there?
I need to go.
No,
I get it.
That's exactly right. It's, again, the gameplay is relatively simple. It is following prompts. It's finding one person that wants a thing, finding that thing, giving it to the person, following a little puzzle, working it out. But it's not supposed to be complex. You're trying to get through the story. You're trying to find out why you need to get to the outside. Why you're going to the outside. You want to get to the outside, and that's what your purpose is. And it's fun doing that.
Because you want to get to the outside because that's where you've been for most of your life. Things inside the city are trying to kill you. Yes. I would also want to get outside.
Yeah, and trying to find your cat friends again. Yeah. That was your life. You want your little cat friends back.
Do you think this might be a value for money zone, but that this game wasn't boring because of its relatively short length? If it was longer, would it have gotten boring?
I think you could be right. I think to some degree, if the story had gotten to now another town to go through all these fetch quests and things like that, and another town to do it, I agree, it could have gotten a bit long-winded. It really would have had to have big plot twists to keep you on that string. That string, sorry, cat's string. That just tickled me.
Nice.
I agree. I think the length was fine. When you play these types of games, these aren't your Far Cries, they're not your Witchers. These are fun narratives to go through and chill out and play and enjoy. And that's still fine. That still makes a good game. This is a good game. It was fun to play. This
is my argument with an Assassin's Creed Valhalla as well. The game could be 100 hours, but it could be the shallowest puddle ever. Or it could be a foot wide, but a mile deep.
Yes, exactly right. And we have this Assassin's Creed problem right at this moment is that they're too wide and too many things to do.
Way too wide and way too shallow.
Exactly.
But that's a conversation for another time.
And it is. Anything else gameplay? Because it is fundamentally a walking simulator with some puzzles and stuff in it. But it's still good.
Let's move on to performance. What do you think?
I had no issues with performance in the slightest, did you?
So, I played this on the PS5 and the PC.
Yeah.
On the PS5, the day it came out, it ran beautifully.
Yeah, no doubt. Same.
Right? Considering the vast render distances it sometimes has, as well as the stellar lighting that we spoke about it often utilizes, I had no issues. None. This was polished. But then when I tried it on my PC this past week, I had some slight graphical issues, but I'm 99% sure that's just my PC needing an upgrade.
Oh, well, there you go. Then
It's not the game.
I remember reading someone pointed out it's really sad that it didn't have 9 save slots, which I thought was a valid one. You're a cat. You should have at least 9 lives on your save slot.
Such a missed opportunity.
I thought that was a witty. But yeah, it ran fine for me.
Yeah.
It is very pretty game. So yeah, I can imagine you need relatively a beefy PC to run it, right? If you want to run it at full fidelity and prettiness or whatever the proper geeky terms are.
The PlayStation 5.
Yeah, a PlayStation Pro.
I mean, no, please don't. No, the Pro is just a.
I know, Pro is just a money grab. Wait for the 6.
That's it.
Anyway, but yeah, the PlayStation 5. Get on PlayStation 5. It runs fine. Sadly, they took it out the the PlayStation subscription catalog, which is sad.
PS Plus catalog, which sucks.
Because value for money wise, because everywhere it's $30, and I was like, damn. I was like, whoa.
I mean,
and physical discs are actually kind of collectible now because it didn't have a big print run. It did.
Did limited run print these discs, or did Annapurna?
Annapurna did do a print run for the PlayStation 5, the Xbox, and for the Switch. And it had a decent run, but only one. And then Annapurna did a print run for Annapurna Games, where it printed like a collection. And that was with a limited print company called, I can't remember what it was called, 8-Bit or something like that, where they did the Annapurna collection with Cocoon and stuff and Stray. Those were limited, and those are like really expensive now. But I didn't expect this game to be $30 on Steam.
30 is a bit steep.
Yeah, I was like,
30 is a bit steep.
How is this 3 years old or so now, right?
I know, I mean, on the other hand, I struggle to think of another game that can provide this exact experience that Stray can deliver.
It makes you wonder, did Stray just come off the PlayStation subscription? Because does it come off the subscription, then they put it at a high price and then lower it afterwards?
I
don't know either. It's a bit suspicious.
As a business, I'd sit and nod in my big office.
Yeah,
but as a consumer, I'm thinking, really? No. Stop.
Yeah. 30 again, just like you when I first saw it, I thought, whoa, $30. It's a bit much. But it is a good game. It is a good game.
Yes.
So if you got the money, by all means, I'd say it's worth it. But I'd also say if Steam sales, the summer sales, PlayStation Network sales, Christmas, whatever, wait for a little bit to go down, then grab it.
It's at least definitely 20. 20 is,
exactly.
I think, a very good price range for this game. $20. If this is $20, go for it.
It's worth having in your library forever. It's worth sharing with your kids later on and stuff like that.
Then again, I mean, the value you get from this game, it's very special.
Yeah, agreed. It is one of those.
It can be quick. I got the platinum for this game on the PlayStation when it was still in the catalog. And one of the trophies is finishing this entire game from start to finish under 2 hours.
I was thinking about that. Was that fun? Because that sounds like actual hard work. Like,
I wouldn't call it hard work because I played the game before this. It was a kind of like just a quick little jog through a weird memory lane.
Yeah, you had to beeline everything though, right? You had to go
and it was fine because the gameplay's fun. I knew all the answers to the puzzle, so it was a tiny bit cathartic just breezing through those. And I got a trophy, so I'm happy.
And made you feel good about yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just fine. We all do it. I'm not saying that's a bad thing. We've all been there. Okay, so what did we score this bad boy then?
Ooh, Stray. Let's see here. So we played Stray this week after it took us 5 months to play Stray, didn't it?
yeah, that's right. It's such a long, complex, a hard game to play.
We eventually beat Stray and we gave it scores, but it seems like these scores produced a little bit too much plastic. But it seems like one of our scores, the Neko score, has made an enzyme or an organism that eats junk. So it ate that junk, but damn it, this organism is now multiplying and eating the people, eating the junk, eating the city. It's so sad that all that's left is the letter grade rating of B minus, which is too low. It's
not
low.
too bad. It's not too bad. Like I said,
What do you mean?
It's not
I think
bad.
this is B plus even.
No, that's fine. I
guess so. I guess it's fine.
Narrative. I don't know anymore. What's great? What's good? What's up? What's down? What's?
You're right. B's good. B's good. A is
a good game.
perfect. The
agreed.
perfect game.
Agreed.
B's great.
So
B's
yeah,
great.
but by all accounts, if it's your type of game, go pick it up. Pick it up for less than $30, but go pick it up. It is a good time. It is one of those games everyone should play. That I definitely say. Even if you're not into cats or things like that, you should give it a go.
Yes, you should give it a go. It's if you enjoy gaming like Dave and I, you just appreciate the hobby, then yes, you'll have a good time with this. But if you're looking for a certain experience, or you want to frag some Nazis with your AR-15, this isn't the game.
That's a very precise gaming moment to frag some Nazis. Nazis are AR-15. Wow, that's true. That's very true, though. This is not the game for you if you want to do that thing. If you want to kill those Nazis. But yeah, go pick it up. It is a decent game to play. It's a fun narrative. It's even fun one to share with your loved one, sitting on the sofa to chill out.
Ooh, that's
eat some cookies.
Yes, that's a fun conversation. Do you think Stray's better enjoyed with someone else?
Oh, I think so. Yeah.
Or do you think Stray's better enjoyed with someone else, and you're both cat people?
I like furries.
No, not furries.
No, sorry. No, I agree. No, I think it's an excellent story to do together. I think this is one of those excellent entry ones if your boyfriend or girlfriend isn't into games. This is one where you can sit down, do the puzzles together. It's cute. I think this is a great one just to do together. It's like watching a TV series and just doing it together and solving it and winning together. I think it would be a great one to do together.
I can absolutely see that. All the mannerisms the cat would sometimes
portray
would get everyone giddy.
Yeah, it makes you all warm and fuzzy inside when you see it curl up on a cushion or just rubs up against one of the robot's legs and its face goes all heart emoji and stuff like that. It's cute little moments.
We can't talk about the ending, can we?
No, never. You can never talk about the ending.
That ending got me... Okay, no, I guess we can't talk about the ending. But the ending is, I would say, worth it.
The ending is worth it. It's relatively cliched kind of nowadays, but it's a good ending.
It's open-ended, you mentioned.
Oh, very much open-ended, if you think about it. There's lots of stories that need to be finished to some degree. Okay. But anyway, so B minus. Yeah, it's a good game. It deserves a B minus. You should play it. You should listen to this podcast. You should listen to all our other podcasts because we're the only and single greatest podcasts doers in the world. Everybody knows it. Everybody out there who's listening knows it. Everyone who's not listening is scared of it.
That's it. We gave them a 5 months gap.
Yeah. But
now we're back, baby. Critical Arcade's back.
Exactly.
But we're back to just the audio version. No more video. No thanks. Yeah. My heart can't handle that.
No, exactly. Just too much handsome on the screen. Just was too much for everyone.
Exactly what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Thanks for listening to the Critical Arcade podcast. If you'd be so kind, you can leave us a review or don't. That's fine too. Give us a follow on YouTube. Wow, we've knocked all of these out. We don't do these anymore, really.
It's true.
How about this one? Dave, where can we follow you?
Well, you can find me out and about. But if you do come up to me and do want to say hello, I have managed, to capture a few Zurk of myself. And they have started to eat organic metal and all sorts of things. And I will sick them upon you. And my Zurk are not damaged by light or ultraviolet light or anything like that, and they will find you and they will capture you and things will happen that you do not want to happen.
I don't know.
So by all means, I will let Trevor and Murtoch after you. I've named them. They are my pets.
What was that? Trevor and Murtoch.
Murtaugh.
Wow.
He's one of the characters in Lethal Weapon. I don't know why. Riggs and Murtaugh. Murtaugh? I don't know how to say his name. But that's his name. He will chase you down. He is relentless. And
don't
so
follow Dave.
If you find me or follow me, that's what will happen.
Please don't follow Dave. What we could do is, Dave, what have we got lined up for next week?
Next week, we've got a PlayStation 4 game called Stellaris, released in 2019. PS4? Is it PlayStation 4 or am I wrong?
I think it's PC.
Oh, PC, sorry. I thought it was because I was trying to think. I can't remember a place. But Stellaris, again, I know nothing about this game. Stellaris, I think, is, if I'm not mistaken, is a sun, isn't it? It's something to do with space in my
Maybe.
Am I making myself look stupid on the stream?
No, I'm making myself look stupid. I don't even know what Stellaris is. I thought that was just the name of the game.
Stellaris. I've written Stellaris in as a picture of space, so I'm somewhat right. Stellaris. There was a movie called Stellaris, I think. Yeah, it's a game. It's spacey. It's a strategy game made by Paradox Development Studios. There you go. Exciting.
Tune in
next week.
Tune in next week if you want to hear us talk about Stellaris. It's going to be a grand old time. We'll see you then. Cheers.
Cheers.